Hello, and thank you for joining us on Arise and Soar. This is a special youth program highlighting government policies and programs concerning the Zambian youth. On the program today, we are looking at the progress made in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts. And my guest is the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts Youth Director, Mabel Nedziwe. Madam, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
So just to begin with, tell us, would you describe the overall progress of the ministry in the past year, 2025, concerning youth development?
Thank you so much. So firstly, as a ministry, I think we've made tremendous progress in ensuring that we respond to the various needs of the young people in this country. As you know, we have quite a huge population in terms of the youth, and the needs of the young people abroad, they're diverse, so it's not a one-size-shoe-fits-all kind of approach. So we've designed our programs in such a way that we respond to different needs by different young people. For instance, we've had a call in the recent past by young people where they're complaining to say when they leave university, college and whatnot, they're being requested for work experience before they can get a job. I'm sure you could have experienced that when you're looking for employment as well. So what the ministry did to respond to that is to come up with an initiative to bridge that problem. And so we came up with an internship program. It had interns, volunteers, apprentices, and graduates. And this was to ensure that we cater for everybody. For instance, the apprentices maybe were those that have gone maybe up to grade 12. We had the graduates, we had the diploma holders, we even had the master's degree holders, participate in that program. It was a one-year program, and the idea was to really respond to the challenges of youth unemployment. As you know, youth unemployment is one of the biggest problems that we are battling with in this country in terms of the youth sector. And so that program, what it did then was provide opportunities for young people to gain work experience. And I will tell you that out of the 2,000 that we had, and they were selected from across the country, at the end of that program, young people had the job experience that is sought when they are looking for employment. But beyond that, we had about 300 young people get employed formally. So that's one of the strategies that we've put in place. And also because we know that there are young people that have dropped out of school and those that have not gone to school. We have the rural youth. As a ministry, we have not left those behind as well. So through our 26 operational youth resource centers dotted across the country, we have created opportunities for those young people to ensure that they are skilled. The idea there also as a response to curbing the high unemployment levels is not for these young people to go and look for a job after they are done. The idea is for them to set up their own enterprises. So beyond that, what we did also now is design what we call the Graduate Empowerment Program. When these young people graduate, then what we do is ensure that they are given a graduate kit so that they are able to go and set up their own enterprise. And by doing so, firstly, there's that young person who has set up their own enterprise. They're not looking for a job, but they'll also create employment for the other young people. If somebody did tailoring, then they are given a tailoring kit. They are going to employ other young people who are going to work as their tailors, etc., and maybe even those that are going to sell their products. Some of the programs that we are implementing, of course, under the multi-sector youth empowerment program, we have also ensured that we give opportunities to young people in different sectors. One of them is the transport sector, where we are empowering young people, mostly in the rural communities of this country, with motorbikes. We realize that transportation in the rural areas can be a challenge. There were a lot of issues that were being raised by young people in that space. So through that, then they are operating these motorbikes as transport, and they are earning a living out of that. So I think in a very brief and nutshell, those are some of the programs that we are implementing to ensure that we respond to the needs of the young people in this country.
Great. We are going towards the Youth Day, 12th March. We are commemorating National Youth Day.
Yes.
What plans has the ministry put in place? Are there any activities?
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, as you indicated, the show is being called Arise and Soar, and that is the theme of our Youth Week 2026. Very excited about it. We have planned a number of activities for our young people. Previously, I'm sure you will recall that we only celebrated Youth Day. But what we have done now is ensure that we have a whole week that is packed with different opportunities for young people to be able to participate in. Officially, we launched our Youth Week on the 2nd of March at the Piazza at East Park. So we are calling upon the young people of this country to show up because that is their day. we are celebrating them. That is their week. We have the Careers Fair, we have the Entrepreneurs Fair, and the Indaba, the National Youth Indaba. Amazing opportunity for young people to interact with the leaders of this country at the highest level, for them to tell us what they like in terms of what we are doing, the opportunities that we are providing for them, and also how they think the government can respond even better. We don't want young people to be recipients of what we are implementing, but we want their voice. We want to hear from them. We want them to be part and parcel of the initiatives that we are doing. There are a lot of activities that we've planned. We've also planned community service, because we are sending a resounding message to the young people in this country that they must participate in various activities such as tree planting, cleaning up their spaces, taking donations to the vulnerable, spending time with the vulnerable members of our society. They can go to an orphanage, they can go to an old people's home, etc. All those activities that we are planning. But most of all, it's the Youth Day itself, where we take a moment to lay a wreath and remember the young people who contributed to the liberation of this country. This year, we go to Solwezi, where we'll host our wreath-laying ceremony. And the idea behind that is that the president of this country, His Excellency, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, told us to say, Lusaka is not Zambia, and Zambia is not Lusaka. And so if you see, you realize that our Youth Day has been decentralized in terms of hosting. Firstly, when we were given this directive, we went to Copperbelt. From the Copperbelt, we went to the Eastern Province. From the Eastern Province, we went to the Western Province. And this year, we are in Northwestern Province.
Wonderful. So, Director, you had mentioned in your preamble that this year's youth theme is Arise and Soar.
Yes.
What would be your interpretation for the theme?
Wow, amazing. I like that you asked that. Really, we are calling upon young people to arise in terms of being decisive about their lives, to find purpose and meaning, to have the courage to take charge of their lives. We don't want young people to sit back and wait to say, oh, Boma Yanganepo. We want them to step up and say, this is what we need. This is how we want the government to respond to our needs. We want them to be bold in terms of taking decisions pertaining to their lives. There are all these opportunities that we are creating. However, these opportunities are not going to walk to their doors to say, oh, I'm here, I'm a careers fair, come and attend me, But by us telling them that we have these opportunities, we want them to arise. We want them to step up, to come and be part and parcel of those spaces. Why so? We have the eagle as the symbol of our national flag. We want young people to soar. We want them to have the courage, the boldness, the resilience that an eagle has. We want them to have that courage. We want them to be go-getters, to say when there are these opportunities, why shouldn't it be this particular young person to get them? So we want them to step up and go and grab those various opportunities that we have had. I will give you an example. Last year, we had an entrepreneurs fair. We had young people from different walks of this life come and participate in that fair, okay? By them being a part of that fair, amazing opportunities, they were awarded. Initially, we should have just identified 3 for the awards. The Honorable Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts, together with the Honorable Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise, agreed to say, no. By virtue of these young people having stepped up with their innovations, great ideas, let us fund all 10 of them. So you can imagine these 10 young people were actually funded, so their innovations are thriving. And that's why we are saying that young people should have that boldness, that courage. Lots of ideas that we have. You probably had ideas that never came to fruition. I have so many ideas, but what we are saying is that don't die with your ideas. Bring them to the fore. Let's see what we can make out of those ideas. So in essence, that is what our theme is encouraging young people to do. We want them to step up. We want them to be bold. We want them to be decisive. We want them to have purpose.
Wonderful. Unemployment remains a major challenge. What specific steps has the ministry taken to create sustainable employment opportunities for the young people?
Thank you so much. I think that in a way speaks to what I said in my preamble. So in terms of programming, what we have done is to ensure, because mainly our mandate really is to curb youth unemployment as a ministry in the Department of Youth Development specifically. So what we are doing is that you find that even the programs that we have designed, I talked about the internship program. That one is designed specifically to address issues of youth unemployment. There's another program that we are implementing. It's called the National Youth Scheme, where again we go to the rural communities of this country to support young people who are vulnerable but have viable business ideas going. So these could be young people that are running tuntembas, young people that are working in the markets. It could be young people that are doing transportation, etc. So what we do through the National Youth Scheme is to give them a grant to boost their business. And so because it's a grant, it ranges from 500 kwacha to 5,000 kwacha. So you can imagine if a young person has an Airtel Money Kantemba, then we give them a grant maybe of 5,000 kwacha. It will boost their business. If this person has a market store, they are selling tomatoes, beans and whatnot, you give them a 5,000 kwacha. That is capital, to inject into the business.
Okay, wonderful. So you've mentioned quite a number of empowerment packages that are there for the youths. Now, I would like you to talk about how are you ensuring as a ministry that these young people not only become beneficiaries, but also they should participate in national development and decision-making processes?
Thank you. That's a valid point. 2024, during our National Youth Week, we launched our National Youth Policy. And the theme of our National Youth Policy is accelerating youth participation and empowerment in Zambia. And I mention this because you've brought in the issue of participation. So firstly, I will start with Youth Week. The different activities that we have planned, and even in terms of the committees, it's young people at the fore. Even when you follow what is on our social media platforms, etc., you will see young people. Because what we have agreed is that we are not going to design programs for them. We are not going to design activities for them. They will be part and parcel of it. So firstly, those are opportunities that we are providing. You will see that even in terms of the people who will be moderating the sessions, the people who will be the masters of ceremonies at our events, those are young people. And these are different platforms that are being created for them to participate. When you talk about the actual activities like the Entrepreneurs Fair, the Careers Fair, the National Youth Indaba itself, community service, we have a town hall meeting in Solwezi, we have a concert. All those, the people that will be there are the young people. The people that are pushing and driving the implementation are the young people. Beyond that, the programs that we implement, for instance, when you talk about our youth resource centers, we have young people there. And what we have done by and large is ensure that there's constant engagement so that we get feedback. Feedback is important to allow us to see how well are we engaging our youth, how well are we involving them in our planning and in our programming. And even some of the media appearances, I'm sure even some that you have hosted, the officers have appeared here with young people because also it's important to hear the youth voice. But in addition to that, we have an institution, a statutory body under the youth department. It's called the National Youth Development Council. So the ministry as a whole has 3 statutory bodies. We have National Arts Council, we have National Sports Council, and we have the Youth Development Council. So those statutory bodies, specifically the National Youth Development Council, that's the voice of the young people. They speak on behalf of the young people. So there is a platform also for young people to engage directly with the leadership of the council itself, the ministry, in terms of how they want to be served, how they want to participate in this country in terms of leadership, governance, etc. So those are some of the opportunities that we have provided.
Okay, great. Collaboration, Director, is key. What partnerships has the ministry formed with private sector players like NGOs and international organizations to enhance youth development? Are you partnering with any other stakeholders?
Oh, definitely. There are so many players in the youth space, driving the similar agendas that we drive as a ministry. And so we learned to say a lot of partners are working in silos. The ministry also was working in a silo, but we are all trying to curb youth unemployment. So then what we did was to come up with a strategic committee. And this strategic committee has partners from the private sector that are working in the youth space. And these include our UN country team. You have your UNDP, your UNESCO, your UNICEF in there. You have UNFPA. We have a lot of key players within the private sector, most of them, even the NGOs, that are implementing youth programs. So then we convene this meeting where these partners come on board and we agree. And as a result of that, we even gave birth to what we call a project implementation unit, because now we wanted to have a unit specifically targeted at organizing, coordinating, the different activities that we have with our partners. And so then what this unit has done now is focus on ensuring that the different activities that are being spearheaded by our partners, then we work together to ensure that we are not giving opportunities to the same young people. You know, as I indicated, the young people are a lot. Their needs are a lot. So when you work in silos, you find that you're serving the young people. And some of them have mastered the art of benefiting from, you know, you come to the Ministry of Youth and Sport, you benefit from opportunities there, you go to small and medium, you go to agriculture. So what we are trying to do now by having that coordinating committee, that mechanism, is to ensure that I think we work in a more coordinated approach. And by so doing, we have noticed that I think we have been able to reach more young people by ensuring that the resources are spread in a more strategic and focused manner.
Wonderful. As we come to the end of the program, Director, what should the nation expect going forward in terms of youth development in 2026?
Wow, what should the nation expect? I think we are really looking at expanding our programs. You know, they say if it's not broken, don't fix it. So we are not trying to fix what we have, but to expand, to scale them up. You know, ensure that they are meeting more young people. I talked about the internship program. What we are doing now is unpacking it so that, remember I mentioned we have interns, volunteers, So what we're trying to do now is unpack it in such a way that it's more structured. When I say more structured, so we'll have a fellowship program. And the fellowship program will be for the graduates. And then we'll still have the internship program running separately. And also we'll have the volunteers. You know, there are people who just want to give their time. You know, if you're a young person, you have a job somewhere and you still want to give your time, there should be a structured approach in terms of how you're going to do it. So we are looking to scaling up. We talk about the multi-sectoral youth empowerment program. We want to scale it up so that we reach as many young people as possible. The internship program that I talked about, when we ran it, it was 2,000 young people. But I will tell you, when we ran the advert to have young people apply, we received 33,000. You know, applications. Already that tells you that there's a need there that needs to be met. So really the focus is for us to scale up, go big or go home, as they say. So we want to go big and ensure that we have as many young people come on board in terms of us being able to meet their needs. We talked about the youth resource centers. I'm sure last year, if you follow, we were talking about 23 youth resource centers. This year, we are at 26 because we've also had partners who've come on board and constructed centers which they have given to the ministry and said, run these centers. And so for us, that would be a strategic move to have as many partners come on board to ensure that we have as many centers as possible. Ideally, we would want to have a youth resource center in each district. That way, every young person in a district is given an opportunity. And these centers are not just for those that dropped out of school or they've never been to school. Even those young people that went to school, every young person should have a skill. I'm an advocate of every young person having a skill because in the absence of a job, your skill will carry you. Thank you.
Director, thank you so much for giving us your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Viewers, that's all we had for you on Arise and Soar. Thank you for watching. This has been Faith Katai. Goodbye.